Hi everyone, this is Leslie and welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while. I had a lot of requests for this, so I'm going to be talking to you today about bezeling a Swarovski crystal rhinestone that's a rectangular shape and has a foiled back. Kind of a big culet. See that, how it sticks out? This is a Swarovski stone 4568 and it's the 18 by 13. This is an antique pink color, which I think is really luscious. And this one right here, which I already made, is the luminous green. So what I do is I create a complete bezel to cover up the foil back. And I finish this really simply to make earrings. They're just stunning when they're on. And I like to think about this as, this earring as like a color pop. So for this, I'm going to use kind of almost a matching color to the antique pink, so it'll be just sort of this antique pink pop of color, and I think they turn out really beautifully. So I'm going to be bezeling one of these stones to show you how to get going with this, and I'm using delica beads for this. I've got a number 10 beading needle and I've got some KO beading thread. When doing a project like this with dimensional peyote stitch, I almost always recommend using thread instead of a monofilament. I love my 6-pound fire line, but for this you need a little give to it. So I just like to use thread a little more. Let's see if I can get more in the camera here. I'm in my studio. So basically we're going to start with a ring of beads. We need them to curve up because this has such a pointy back. And then we're gonna make a whole bezel. You know what? I'll leave one of these here up at the top so we can kind of see that. Okay, that's good. Okay, so to get started, the way we're going to think about this is I'm going to do 5 beads for each of the long sides. I'm going to do 1 bead at the top and the bottom and 4 beads for each corner. So that's 10, 11, 12, 16 beads. So the first thing you need to do is pick up 16 beads. Five, 6, 7, 8. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's make sure let's count those again. 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay. Leave a decent sized tail. Leave yourself 6-9 inches for a tail because we're going to go back and close up the back later. I like to go through a few beads. Let's give it a tiny bit of reinforcement here at the beginning. So this is what you're starting with a long tail. Okay. So I've talked about this before. If you know how to do peyote stitch, that's really helpful for this. So this is peyote stitch with increases, and when you do shapes like this, you have an increase cycle. So our increase cycle for this is going to be 2, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1. Okay, I'll try to write that on the screen too. So 2, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1, and that will make it curve enough so that it will come up here. So what that means is we're going to start right away with the 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is peyote 2 regular stitches. 1, 2, 3. Pull that through. Let's see what we have here. And my giant fingers are in the way. Okay, 2 regular stitches. And those are the 5 beads, excuse me, on one side. Now we're going to do a corner. So we're going to pick up 2. So we're going to do a 2/1 increase. We're going to skip 1 and go in the next bead. So that'll be a corner, and that's our first row of 2. See how that looks? that. So we just went over the bead that we're considering the corner bead, and we went into the bead that was the top bead, and then we have another corner because we're making a rectangle here. So we're going to, the next one, again, you're going to do a 2 over 1 increase, skip 1 bead and go in the next bead. See how I put my finger on it when I pull them through, just so your beads don't wiggle around too much. I always like to do that. Okay, so we've got 2 regular peyote stitches and 2 over 1 increases. Now we're on the other side, so we're going to do 2 more regular peyote stitches. 1, and 2. Okay, and now we have 2 more corners. We've got the other 2 corners to do, so we're going to do the same thing. 2 increases in a row, pick up 2, skip 1 bead and go in the next one. Okay, pick up 2, skip a bead, go in the next one, and step up. Do you see that? Stepping up to the next row. You'll always step up to the next row with this kind of even peyote stitch. Okay. Yay! Got the first row done. See, it's already making a little rectangle. So, and the increase cycle that I was telling you is 2, 2, 1, 0. So again, we're going to do the exact same thing in the second row. We're going to peyote 2. It's going to be the same increase. Now, this increase, now we get to the first corner, this increase is going to be a little different because you've already got 2 beads sitting in here. So it's going to be more like a herringbone increase. You're going to pick up 2 and go into the very next bead. You see that? Into the very next bead. Make sure they're sitting 2 over 2. You take your needle, you sit like that. Now we've got 1 peyote at the top, 1 regular peyote at the top, and we're going into that second corner. Okay? We're going to do that same increase, 2 over 2. Go in the very next bead, okay? 2, 2. Okay, see how it's getting even more rectangular? Now again, we've got our side. 1, actually you're going to have 3 peyote on this side. Regular. 2, 3, until you come to the next corner. Okay, same thing on this end. 2. Go in the very next bead. Okay. Peyote 1 into the next corner. And then we've got our 4th corner increase. Okay. Go in the very next bead. You've got 2 beads at the corner. And peyote 1 last one and step up to the next row. So you're going through 2. See that? All right, we've got a good foundation here. Now it's looking really rectangular. Okay, the next row is 1 in the corner. So we did 2, 2, the next one is 1. So for this row, you're basically just going to peyote around in the regular way. And when you come to a corner, you're going to put 1 bead between the 2 increase beads. Okay? Just like that. And on each end, so you're going to have regular 2 peyote to get to the next corner. Okay? And 1. Keep going around. We're just building this up. 1. On this side we'll have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're at the next corner. Again, 1 in the corner. Here we go. 1. Peyote 2. We're in the next corner. We're in the last corner. Here we go. One more in the last corner, and then you're going to peyote 1, and the second one you're going to step up. See that step up coming up? Never want to forget about the step up. That's where you get in trouble. Okay, stepping up. Perfect, it's looking really good. And see, we did an increase and then we did this kind of staying even, and you'll see that it's making, you've got a little flexibility in there for it to go pointing down, for the point of the stone to go right down inside there. So for this next round is 0. We have 2, 2, 1. This is 0, and all that means basically is you don't have an increase at the corner because there's 1 bead in the corner. So basically we're going to go through that and we're going to set it up for the next row. So we're just going to peyote around all the way. I've got this habit where I like to lay in a bunch of beads and then pull the thread, and I do that to save time and also to disrupt the work less, if you know what I mean. I know all you're seeing is my fingers, but if you can hold the work steady like I'm doing, it makes it so much easier because your beads aren't flying around. You're holding everything down with your thumb, so when it comes, you know, when you pull, I'm going to come to the corner and I'm going to pull all these through. Nothing moves. And I really like that. And it's to save time too. Okay, we're doing the third side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got 3.5 sides done. 1, 2, 3, and stepped up. That is looking fantastic. Okay. Now, we did 2, 2, 1, 0, and the next one, we need 1 more increase. You can see this is not quite big enough. So we're going to need 1 more increase to get it big enough to go around this stone. Okay? So this is actually the last increase we're going to do in this row. Again, we're going to put 2 in each corner. Okay? So we've got peyote 1 right at the corner. We're going to put 2 in the corner over the 1 from before. 1, 2, 2 in the corner. Okay, peyote down this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase 2 at the corner. 2. Okay. Increase at the corner. 1, 2, and we're going to step up. See that? Okay. There we go. Now, you can see how this is starting to cup a tiny bit. Do you see that? That's all good. It's going to be sitting on there perfectly. And we're going to sew that back too. Okay. So we are done with increasing. So for now, we're going to start building up the sides. So we're going to put 1. So we did 2, 2, 1, 0, 2, and then 1. So from now on, we're either going to be putting 1 or 0 in the corners. Okay, so I'm going to go around. Okay, hello again. My camera decided to stop working after 16 minutes or so, so I went ahead and finished that row. I put 1 in each corner, and you can see I've got this really nice little cup here. See? Now when you're doing bezeling, and you can just see the beads kind of popping around out of the edge. They're all looking really perfect. That means you have finished your increases. And you don't want to make it any bigger. Now you can just start building up the sides a little bit. You can start coming up. That's looking really, really good. And I think that I should show you how to go ahead and close the back of this up while we're at this stage. So you're going to thread your tail. I'm just using another needle. Okay, and you're going to bring your thread up. You see that? So it's basically here, and we're going to basically fill in this little area with some beads. So you're going to peyote 1. You can see there's a little space there. I'm going to turn it around. Peyote, stitch back into the one. This is sort of an odd count peyote, but it's only 3. I'm just going to go right in there. Make sure that one is turned around. Sitting right next to there. Okay. See that? So I've added a little bit. I'm basically just adding 4 beads back here. This is the last one. Okay, and then you want to do, see that? So you basically end up with a little strip of peyote 3 in the middle. So just go back and reinforce that a little bit. Make sure they're all there. I didn't go through the right one. Look at that. Even I made a mistake. Okay, anyway, so you're going to keep reinforcing that a little bit, and then tie it off. That's all there is to it. That closed up the back. And it gives a little extra space for the point of the stone. All right, I'm going to get rid of this thread. I'm going to cut it off. Okay, let's have a look. Now we have sort of a solid little cup here for this. And put that down in there. See those beads just are sticking out. That's just perfect. It's just the right proportions. And on the back, we made a little extra room for the point of the stone. So it's just sitting perfectly in there like that. Okay? So the next thing to do is we're going to build up the sides a little bit. So you're going to have, see that? We're going to have two two complete rows, and then the third one we'll do a smaller stone to cinch it in. So I'm going to keep going here, and as I'm doing some more peyote, I'm going to talk to you about how I feel about you reproducing this design. You can use this design. I give you my permission to use this pattern. You can sell the pieces that you make. I don't mind that, but please don't compete with me. Don't put this exact earring in your Etsy shop, because I'm also selling it on my website, okay? And don't come to craft fair in the Northeast with this exact thing. That's really all that I ask. Incorporate it into your own design. Do something different with it. Make a bracelet, or embellish it and make a different kind of earring. I really want this to be an inspiration for you, and not just copying what I'm doing. Meanwhile, I'm just going around and around. So basically, I'm gonna keep going around. After I finish this row, I will go around, let me think, I guess two more times. So I'm gonna basically have 2 single beads in the corner, and then the row next to them, and be ready for another corner row. I'll show you. I'll come back. I'm going to do 2 more rounds of peyote, and I will come back and show you. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and it's looking really, really nice. So I'm going to take the stone out. I'm going to show you what I have. I've got you can see your increases on the back, so I'm going to show you. I've got 2, 2, 1, 0, and then a 2, 1, 0, 1, and 0. See that? You've got a beautiful little cup here. And so then my next row is going to be a corner row, where you're going to have a bead going into the corner. And for that, this is one last row. I like to use a number 15 bead, which is just going to cinch it in a little bit and add a tiny little bit of detail to that. So you can put it back in there, kind of pull it a little bit tight. I've got some 15s right here, and I'm going to peyote around with those, and then we'll have a look at that. You can put a slightly contrasting bead, whatever you want to do. And as you're going around, just cinch it, and you can feel with your fingers the bead just sitting in there, the crystal sitting in there really tightly. And these are just coming over a little bit over the edges of the stone. Just going to hold it in place. And after this row is done, what I will do is take the stone back out, and I will put a tiny bit of glue on the back, a little bit of hypo cement, and I will put the stone back in, and I will sew one last ring around the 15s. I don't want it to come out. It's pretty secure in here actually, like this, but even without glue, but you really don't want that stone to come out, especially if you're selling your work like I am. You want it to be really secure in there, no falling out. See how nice that looks? Looks really nice. Okay, just a couple more. And step up on the last one. See how nice that looks? Okay, and we'll turn it over. And it's just sitting in there perfectly. There's a little bit of an art to bezeling stones, but it's one of my particular interests. I like doing it and figuring out the unusual shapes And so there it is. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.